Hey folks, today I just wanted to talk about which Mora hook knife you should get. I think there's a lot of options out there these days for hook knives, but if you're getting anything cheaper than a Mora knife, it's probably going to be really cheap. I'm not saying they won't work. I think you can learn on anything, but when I started out, there was pretty much just Mora hook knives, and then obviously any of the super fancy ones. I'd say the Mora hook knives are the best bang for your buck if you're starting out. So I would just say if you're not sure what to get a Mora hook knife. You can learn really well on that, and then if you stick with it for a while, maybe get a more expensive one. Um, yeah, I won't get even into that. But anyway, so here we have the Mora 164, and this is the old one with the pointer tip. So I haven't ground out the pointy tip. A lot of people complain about it. I think I've gotten bit by the pointy tip once, so I don't have an issue. A lot of people not a big fan. A lot of people are not big fans of any of these. I personally think they're great for pretty much any level. There's definitely some guys out there who swear by these, but anyway, so that's the 164. This is the 163. It's a shallower one. This is a 162. So I just wanted to talk about the strengths of each one. The 164 is probably the closest thing to a standard. It's got the regular kind of gentle slope that you find a lot of other guys doing variations of, um, and it's single-sided so that you can really grab the back. You can see I have duct tape or Gorilla Tape wrapped around each one just so I can choke up. But yeah, I think if I had to pick one, if I was like really clueless and if I didn't have a hook knife at all, I would get the 164. I would stop searching around. I would just get it, and it's a perfect one to start on. Don't go any cheaper because you're not really going to save that much money, and you're probably going to get a far less superior blade. So this is what I would say is the number one starter one. But let's look at the other two options just so that you know what's up. 163, this one's shallower and double-sided. So this one is kind of a funky one. What I'd say it's good for is for getting like really big bowls and making sure you can get rid of any high ridges. That's something you can definitely do with the Mora 164 with some practice and time. So I got the Mora 162 first actually, then the 163, and then I think I got this in like a 2-pack. It came with this and maybe the 106 Sloyd blade. But anyway, so this one though, I don't use as much anymore, but I used to use a lot for getting really smooth spoon bowls. I think it's pretty useful, especially as a beginner or if you don't want any texture at all. So it has its value. Definitely not the first one to get. Um, if you look at the slope, it's not one for taking out big scoops. This is kind of like more of a finishing blade, if you ask me, and it's double-sided, so I mean you got to take that into account. I've never had any issues with this blade. No complaints. It's just not, in my opinion, the most versatile, and yeah, I don't know. Definitely a good finishing blade. And lastly is the 162. I have really strong opinions about this one. I love it. Other people have really strong opinions about it. They hate it. But I would say this is a complete workhorse of a blade. I use it for making coffee scoops. You can get in deep, and you can go both directions, all around. I don't know. I personally like it, and I don't think anyone makes anything else like it, with the exception of like cheaper knockoffs. But no, no blacksmiths out there, whatever, trying to replicate this design because they all hate it. But anyway, yeah. So I would say if you're starting out and you don't know, just get the 164. There's a newer version that I think people like a little bit more, less pointy. Get that. If you have the 164 and you're thinking about the other ones, think about what you want. Do you want one for finishing, making nice shallow cuts? That's probably what this one's best for. Or if you want a workhorse, this one, you toss in your backpack when you're going to hit the trail. And you've got 2 blades, which also means twice the life. So that means if you are using both sides evenly, you're going to have twice as much time before you need to sharpen. Right? So if you're going camping for a couple weeks and you want to take it with you, I know, just something to think about. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. If you're considering any of these 3 knives, I think they're great. I think Mora is great for beginner, intermediate, and even I know there's some guys out there who that's all they use and swear by. So I don't think you'll find yourself wanting if you get one of these. I would say if you get something cheaper than a Mora knife, I think you might end up getting one of these or spending a lot more money on a fancy one eventually. But yeah, so that's my answer to that question. Hope you liked the video. Hope this was helpful. When I was looking at these, trying to decide, I looked around at a lot of videos, a lot of guys using them and describing them, so I hope this helped you figure out what you want.